Hey there, I'm Jennifer,
And I'm Jackie.
and welcome to Slightly Unsupervised. We're best friends, business partners, and the chaos behind Bestimony, a ceremony we created to celebrate the kind of soulmates who don't come with a marriage license.
This podcast is all about that friendship energy, the deep stuff, the messy stuff, and the laugh till you snort stuff.
So whether you're driving, folding laundry, or hiding in your car for some peace and quiet,
You're in good company. Let's get slightly unsupervised. Today's episode is about why moms think they have to do it all and how besties break the spell. Let's see. Here's the thing. Moms don't just do Christmas. We become Christmas. But why? Why are we the ones carrying the emotional, mental, and physical load for everyone else? Today, we're digging into where that pressure even comes from: childhood, culture, family patterns, and why besties are often the only people who can help us see we don't have to be Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the entire North Pole all by ourselves.
absolutely, that is the truth. And Jackie, you are much more probably pressured by this because I think your role of mothering the entire group of your little family over there puts a lot of pressure on you. My children are a little older right now, although I just got a grandson, so this could go back into that mode. Although you never know. We have a lot of dynamics in a family now. But when it was the kids were younger, I could totally, completely, 100% identify with this because you do end up being sort of the navigator of everything come Christmas, and I know it can be overwhelming for you. So the thing that we kind of read before we started this was that our mothers did it and then their mothers did it. And I think in my case, and probably in your case, you can talk for yourself, my grandmother did it. And now I'm doing it the way my grandmother did it because I don't think in my mind I have a Christmas where my mother was in charge of all this stuff. I think once my grandmother got too old, I took over and did it. And that's because I had the children were small and the kids my family wanted to be around my children and stuff. So the baton passed from my grandmother to me. What about your life? How did that go for you?
I would say, like, our family was always together. We never had company at my home with my parents. It was
You
just
didn't have
us and our
any.
parents. No, nothing like that. But we would go down. I remember going to grandma's house and everybody would get together, even as I got older.
Was it set? Like, I know at my grandmother's house, it was every Christmas Eve we were at my grandmother's house, and then my parents are divorced, so every Christmas morning I went with my dad to my other grandparents' house.
No, our family never had a set tradition ever that
Never.
I can remember, unless I'm, like, blanking it out and I'm not realizing it. I am pretty positive it was, like, once in a while, and then I remember going to grandma's at times, and not my it was my grandma that, is now 99, gonna be 100,
So your mom's
not the
mom.
other grandmothers, yeah, not the other ones.
Yeah,
Not that we wouldn't see her, but there was never ever a tradition with her. She didn't have really traditions, um,
right.
but
So if your grandmother had it, so was it a production? Like, did you gain that sort of thought process that
I
this
just
has to be
remember
done?
everybody getting together and how fun it was, appetizers, the meal, everybody hanging out, that type of thing. But I think, when I started to have a family, it's when I think I made my own traditions more that way.
Did you?
Yep, and it was
Mm,
always Christmas Eve.
it
And with my
was.
ex, I had my family over. He always had to work because of his business most of the time. I mean, there's a few times that I think my family did their own thing, and so I ended up over at his family's,
Oh, okay.
but I always tried to do it where I had my family together on Christmas Eve with my kids after I had children.
You mean your side of the family, your parents
Right.
and stuff. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said really in my case, my grandmother did it every Christmas Eve. It was the same thing. You went over there, you ate, da-da. Even when she moved into her own home when my grandfather died and she lived on her own, we were always at my grandmother's house. That was always just a solid
So you
plan.
had a very solid tradition, yeah.
So for me, it followed suit. So as my grandmother was just too old, and maybe the last, 5, 10 years of her life, I was doing it. Besides, I had kind of come up in the ranks and I had these children. So I kind of took over that responsibility from my grandmother just to give my grandmother peace on that. But there was never a baton from my grandmother to my mother. I don't ever remember my mother having a holiday like that. And then I took on, but I think we do it as mothers for sure because of the children, wanting those children to have a
Yeah,
tradition.
and I think I started more of a tradition that I set, especially being in a divorced family, that with my ex, I will always have them Christmas Eve.
That was
Let's do
the
this.
arrangement.
And
Yeah.
then you can have them on Christmas morning,
Yeah.
you know? And I
So
was
you
fine with
guys
that.
You didn't switch back and forth. Some parent I know some divorce yeah, they switch back. So you just said, "I'll do Christmas Eve, you do Christmas every year. We'll just
So
call it that."
literally this year is going to be the first year I have had my son, my youngest baby. He's gonna be, let's see, he just turned what, 28? Every single year, Christmas Eve since he's been born. And now he's married, having a baby, which I totally understand. I knew this was gonna happen. I'm just gonna have to do this. But of course, wants to be with his wife, and pregnant. And last few years, keep in mind, they've done good. She's went to her families because they're in Northern California, and he's been here because he has to work. And they're so that he still kept coming here, and she'd go up there, so they wouldn't spend Christmas Eve together. I think they'd meet back up by Christmas night or the next day. But now that they're having a baby and stuff, he's like, "I need to be with my wife." I'm like, "I totally get it. I knew one day this was gonna happen to me."
Sure, absolutely.
Of course, I'm glad I got him this long.
Right? You got 28 years of that, so that's
It's like everybody's
awesome.
surprised. "Really? He's not going up?" "Nope, nope. He's doing the tradition. He's coming here for Christmas Eve."
So, is his new plan to go back and forth in 1 year, you guys 1 year with
Yes,
okay, that's
every
fair.
other year.
Yeah, because 'cause there'll be a grandchild here, and this is my grandson's first Christmas, so I'm very excited that
Oh, it's gonna be so fun for you.
I know, but he's, like, 2 months old, so I'm like,
It's
"Oh, when
still
do I buy him?"
fun.
I know.
It's fun. I can remember because remember we used to make videos. We had video cameras back when my
Sure.
kids were little. So I have so much more memories. Like now you just kind of do your phone for a few minutes. But now it's looking back at those videos, I'm so happy because I remember I think Trevor or maybe it was Travis. So Travis was born in October, which is the same as yours, November,
Uh,
December. But
yeah.
wasn't he born in October? Yeah,
Yeah,
it
he's
was
born
October.
October 22nd.
Yeah. So Travis was 25th. So literally, you would set your camera up and have it like pretty much during the whole party so you'd see everything. Travis is like on the floor part of the time, people picking him up, playing with them or holding him, but you're trying to keep him away from the other like little cousins because they
Kids.
all want to hold. But like,
Yeah.
no, he's fine on the floor. Let him go.
I assume you mean in a cradle or something? Just laying on the floor. Was he just laying on
No,
the
the old days, no, we'd have a blanket, you just put them on the floor, like,
Oh,
you just
okay.
lay there. It's not because they didn't roll over back then
Yeah,
or,
that's true.
at that age.
Yeah,
So
they
back
don't.
then, we didn't have all these special little things where
I
you put them
know.
up off the ground, you do all this,
Oh,
like,
I know, the
nobody cared,
gadgets.
nobody stepped on it, but we literally have pictures, and you could see, like, at some point where people are on the floor and they're, like, talking, baby talking, you're like, "Oh, they were talking to Travis," you know?
Right.
He's a baby. Oh, it's just funny, the difference.
So you basically have come through this needing to have this Christmas pressure put on by your own doing, Miss Jackie. Is that true?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. You do.
I feel like
And
I
you
need to
do
do it.
that
Well, I actually took it over because my my husband now, his mother used to do it at her
okay.
house,
Oh, okay.
but it got to where she can't do the cooking anymore. She
Right.
can't do all this stuff, so we were
Yeah.
doing everything, and it's like, why bring everything to her house? It's so hard.
Right. Just
Like,
have it at
let's
my
just make
house.
it easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just come to our house. We have it decorated, the lights are on, 'cause she likes it really dark. Half the time you open your presents and you're like, "What
What
is
is
it?"
it? Get your
We're all trying
phone.
to turn on the lights and she's turning them back down. It's like the family joke.
You're like, "Does anybody have their flashlight on their phone?"
Flashlight? Seriously. So we're
It's
like,
come over with, like,
"All right,
spotlights on your head.
let's just kinda move it." Because one year we even surprised her, and I went there, she was gone, and I put lights inside the house, like decorative lights and stuff, and then we put more, like, Christmas lights outside to kinda so she didn't really realize what was going on and more lights inside, so we're like, "Okay, maybe this year we'll be able to see stuff."
Nope. It
Wasn't
didn't
that
work
well.
out as well.
Love her,
What
but, yeah.
Yeah. Well, every family's different, right? You joined a
Yep,
family, and that was the tradition, and you just had to learn to kinda get used to it, which we all do. I mean, that's just part of it. I know that and my I live in Tennessee now, and my sister's here, so we spend every holiday with my family now. That's we
right,
used to go back and forth more when we were in California, but we don't have to do that anymore because it's just too far, and it's the distance is pretty big, and the kids are grown. I mean, it's not like they're, like, 15 years old. They're 20, they're in their 30s now,
exactly.
actually. The youngest one's in her 30s now, too. So, it's been a long time. But I think as mothers, and this is a soundbite that I think is pretty true, is that we weren't really taught to enjoy the Christmas. We were taught to create it for everybody else to enjoy. And we can really take that almost too far to the point where we can get ourselves very frustrated or,
Tired and frustrated with everybody.
yeah,
Like I said,
it's,
that movie, what was the name of the movie I told you with Michelle Pfeiffer
I'm
that
not
they
sure the
just
name of
had?
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't believe I should have wrote it down. Anywho, I'm sure if anybody's been watching Prime, it's been out there, and it's a really good show to watch. But it's about how everybody forgot about her,
Right.
and she's doing everything,
Right.
and it's like, you just sometimes you need to think about what they're doing, you know?
I can identify with that because I know when my husband had his kids and I have my kids and I'm doing everything like putting together, my whole family came up. So I was entertaining my family. I was entertaining, making sure all the kids got their gifts. I was an
Mhm.
overbuyer of gifts. Like I'm still a gift giver. Like I love giving gifts. And so wrapping them, every single one of them. So they had everything to open. I mean, there's like all these variables in my head that have to go as a perfect childhood would go. And I know that my children always appreciated it from a standpoint of I overdid it at Christmas. Overdid it way more than any other holiday. It's my
Mhm.
favorite holiday. So, I know the pressure of it. And then you get all that done, dealing with my sister and her kids, my dad, my stepmom, my mom, my stepdad. I got all these people. I'm in this one house with all these my brother and his kids. And it's like at the end of it, you're just like, they're like, maybe you snap at somebody or you're frustrated or something, and they're like, God. Well, look, I just put on an entire production, like, by myself. I was the director, I was the editor, I was the coordinator, I had to make sure all of that, and then you get to the end of it, and maybe you have one moment where you're not in your best self, and they're like, "Oh my god, like, what is wrong with her?" And you're like, "What in the world? I just
Can I
bent."
have a breakdown moment?
Yes,
Right? Yeah.
right? I can't
Or
believe
if you get
it.
someone critiquing it, like if
Yes,
one of your children critique something like, "Oh, you just make it all, like, so special. It's not special at my house." Wait, we're
that's your
grandparents. Isn't that
choice.
what we're supposed to do? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand, like, we could not do anything.
Right.
There you
Like, give
go.
some grace to these women that are busting their rear ends trying to
Mhm.
put a production together that you don't have to do anything but come and enjoy because she has taken all of the heat for it and created all the has all the responsibility on her shoulders that she carries. And you guys are
Well,
over
I was
there.
when that movie I was talking about too, Michelle Pfeiffer, so she's doing all the food too, like, no one's
Yeah.
and I'm like, "That's what I do every
Yeah.
single year."
I
And
know.
it's like people wanna help, but then all of a sudden, like, I have someone help and like, "Oh, can you do salad?" They don't even have it, like, even prepared. They're like, "I need to wash it now and dry it." And they're here and it's like, "We're about to serve the meal." What? Like, I've been
Wait,
preparing making this lasagna for freaking 3, 4 days. You couldn't get the salad.
it'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it. Let me bring everything over and cook it over there." You're like, "No, no, 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 no. It's a production zone. You're not allowed in here. Like, we're not doing
It's like,
production."
yeah.
I know,
Or they all
for
come
sure.
like, "Oh, we're gonna make" like, I just did something recently and it was like, "Oh, well, I'll make this when I get there." Wait, you told me you were gonna make something ahead of time.
Yeah,
That kinda works.
yeah,
Now you're gonna mess up my kitchen and pull all this other stuff out, and I
right.
have everything all in line. Like, I'm one of those ADD
Yes.
people,
Yeah,
OCD, like, I everything. So I'm like, I need everything
organized.
right. Now you're
Yeah.
throwing my whole thing off. So
Yes.
I get and this is my own fault. So in my head, I'll just do it all.
Right.
Because
Easier.
if I have to count on these people to help me, but they can't do it right in
They
my
can't do it
head.
the way I need them to do it, which is, in the production mode that I'm
Come on,
in.
though. You're making a
Let
salad
go.
and you've gotta wash the
I
salad and everything we're about to eat. Hello. And you gotta dry it?
Like,
Like, come on.
I know, totally. That is the truth. I'm not a cook, so I don't have that pressure on me. I've always just like this year I'm having Christmas Eve at my house, my family's coming, we're gonna play games and stuff, and it's like we have a grocery store Publix that has really good or dirty food trays that you could buy. I'm on there. I'm like, which ones am I gonna get? Because that's all I'm gonna do. Like I'm
See, our
not worried
tradition
about
is our lasagna. So,
yeah.
my
But
lasagna that I make.
But
Homemade.
The Christmas day is usually at my sister's house, and, that meal is more like a meal, you know what I mean? Like turkey I don't know what we have, it doesn't really bother me what we have.
You know my Christmas day. My Christmas day is my leftovers and taking Christmas down. I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah, you've
And
worn yourself out.
maybe because it is of everything. It's like, I just wanna get rid of this now. I'm done. Never
Exactly.
thought of it till just now. But yeah, I'm freaking
And
done.
another minute of this going on in my life, tear it down, tear it down. That is
Let's
probably what's
start.
happened. You have
Yep,
literally exhausted yourself to the point of, "I can't even look at this stuff anymore. Put it away." And then next year you do it again. I know. That's
yep.
motherhood, right?
When I
So
first put it out, I'm like, "Oh, ah." I love it.
And day after, you're like, "I hate it. Get it out of here."
God, get it out.
But anyways, moms struggle to ask for help, and there's some fears of things that happen. It's the fears of things not getting done right. That's you, Jackie, right there. There's
Yep,
the fear of
definitely.
being judged. Moms get judged. I just went through a story where you do everything, and then you come out, you have one bad moment, and they're like, "Oh my god, what is wrong with you?" And it's like,
Yep,
"What is wrong with me? Oh my god, do this job." Anyways, the fear of dropping the
yep.
ball and being the problem, the guilt that women carry, the condition to prioritize everybody but themselves, that is a never ending problem with women, and we've got to change that narrative somehow because there used to be a time when mothers only did mothering, right? They were home, they're homemakers, whatever. So all that responsibility was put on them. The husband went to work and the wife did everything, right? That's the old generation. That's how it used to work. And that's
Mhm.
okay. And then at some point, the 60s or 70s, women went to work and they now have full-time jobs, and the responsibility of taking care of everything at home never shifted. It's the same
No,
responsibility, and they have a full-time job. So now it's not only is she caring for all this, she's now working full-time, and it has never corrected itself, and it has to get corrected at some
and
point.
I was listening to a younger, let's see, she's 37, I think, yesterday, and her husband works full time, she works full time, they kids are in school, like, all this stuff, and she's, like, trying to tell her husband, like, she's exhausted. And he's like, "Well, I'm working all the time too." Like, they work a
Right,
lot of hours, both of them.
right.
But she's all, "Yeah, but you're not having to take care of all the presents. You're not having to take." She's like, "I'm not trying to act like you're not doing anything. I totally think you are." And so it was hard for her to explain to him, which I thought was so interesting because we were gonna do this episode at that age, that she's all, "But you don't know the extra stuff I'm doing too."
No, because she never actually says anything that she's doing it.
No, and I never do either. I always act
No.
like, "Got it, no
Yeah,
problem." And I
yeah,
think I more vent to my girlfriends and stuff, and
right.
instead of like, I probably shouldn't do this anymore, but I do wanna do it because I do love to see when they open their presents. I love everybody being here. I love everybody, being together because I think if we didn't do it,
It wouldn't get done.
I don't think we'd have everybody together that we have together
No,
on that
you wouldn't.
Christmas Eve.
No,
No.
it wouldn't. Women bring the family nurturing system together. I'm not saying
Mhm.
no man's never done it because he has, but the whole for the entirety of most of it, women are the ones that keep that kind of stuff together and make the world go round for not only her husband, not only her family, for all of her kids. She
Mhm.
is turning that thing on a 24/7, moving it around in orbit,
And she
and
said she loves holidays. She's trying to say, "I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying the holiday, but I'm just so exhausted." And he doesn't understand, and he's trying to act like, "Well, I'm working hard too."
right,
But she's like, "You don't understand this other stuff that's on my plate. You didn't buy the gifts. You're not
yeah,
wrapping them. You're
right,
not, decorating the tree. Yes, you do the lights, but the guys sometimes I feel like the guys like doing the lights 'cause they hang out and the half the neighbors come over and hang out with them.
right. Have a beer. Some beer
The
and hang
guys
some
are like,
lights.
but it's not like us. It's like, "Oh, but we gotta get this by this date."
No, they don't that's not the responsibility. They don't have to go buy the
No.
lights, pick out the lights, make sure all the lights work before they put the lights on. There's a variables of all the things that need to occur. Someday they go out there, there's a tub, that woman had bought the lights, made sure they work, they're in a tub,
I
they're
did
ready for
that.
them to
When I was single, when I was first single, and I mean, I did all the lights. I
yeah,
mean, I had one time where I fell off a ladder because I was trying to make 'em perfect for my boys. Right after I left my husband, I didn't have another guy there. I did everything. My brother, of course, offered to help, but I'm like, "Nope, I'm gonna do this all myself." And so I did all of that on top of
everything
everything.
else. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you wear
So I guess
yourself
I should
out.
be relieved that I don't do that, but then I still have to go out and critique my husband's
Of
decorations.
course.
It's
First of all, you
not.
didn't hang those right. Like, what is going on over here?
And that is not where those icicles go. They go on the other side. Do you remember the picture from last year?
You got photos. You've now blown them up to poster size. You're outside. Now
Where's
let's
my big
study.
candy canes? Oh, they're discolored. Well, then we need to go buy some more because they
Of
gotta go down
course.
the front.
Now you need to get in the car, drive to the store, get more of those
Lowe's.
things,
I knew where I got them, but Lowe's didn't have them this year.
but who's doing the job? Rick's putting out the ones that are discolored, doesn't give a shit. You're like, "What? This is not happening here. This is not how we do this." So now
Yeah.
you go buy them. Now you gotta pull the old ones out, and now you gotta put the new ones in. Like, again, a new job for you that should have been taken care of by somebody else because you can't let Christmas be anything more than perfect, and I get it.
Right.
I
I
get it,
know.
us
I
women.
wish I could let it go. That's how I'm gonna have my heart attack eventually.
Christmas took her out.
Christmas. I'm getting set up for Christmas. The whole family, all of a sudden, it's all canceled.
I'm gonna keep this outline and be like, Jackie foretold her
She always told us it was gonna be
Christmas
during Christmas time.
she got taken out by the Christmas cheer.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that sad? The Christmas cheer took her out. She couldn't do it all. She finally realized, well, I changed my tree. Well, I was laughing because last year, my husband being sick and stuff,
Right,
I got like in a different mode. And I've always done my Christmas tree all silver. I don't know if you
right.
remember that. Always has been super silver, full of silver decorations forever, like glittery silver, everything. And so last year, it's like I got in this like, huh, I don't know if I want silver anymore. So literally, all I have is pine cones and red berries and a wooden star on the top.
Yeah.
And it was funny because someone we know like go, "Oh, you change your decorations." I'm like, "Did you not see my picture last year?"
It's just a second year,
Like, this is the second year. I
right?
was offended, but I'm like, okay, I know they were going through the same thing with my husband, and that's why I changed everything because I'm like, I'm going more simple. I was trying to go more simple
Yeah.
because man, that tree takes me forever, and all the just the
Put
glitter
it
and
away
everything
is
that
a whole
yeah,
other
everything
thing to
was
get
just
it out.
yeah.
Well,
So I
this
was like,
year, I went over to my sister's house. This is a funny story. I went over to my sister's house and she put her tree up really early, and I was like, "Is that it? Where's the decorations for it?" She's like, "I'm not doing it." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She goes, "That's it." I plugged it in. Like, oh. So I sat there with it for a while, and I was like, it's not really that bad. So I came home and I put my tree up, and I just plugged the lights, and I'm like, turned them on. I'm like, looks good because we got these nice trees now. Jackie made me get a not make me, but she informed me that I needed a Balsam
"Awesome."
Hill
Yep.
tree, which are very nice trees. I
Yep.
will give her that, they don't smell that great.
I know. I have candles.
Yeah, but the tree itself looks very nice. So I plugged my Balsam Hill tree in and I said, "That's it." But eventually I pulled out I think I put a little few white angels on it, some wood white angels, and then I tied bows on it. I don't know. Some year I'm
The
just like
only
on
time I
some
didn't do decorations is when I had my kids were really young.
when you did wanna get 'em and everything.
It was just like, yeah, because 'cause I'm like, I don't wanna deal with them pulling them off them. When my boys were a little young, but the grandchildren so far have been good, but I think you're different with your grandchildren because your kids, you're working, and my
Yeah,
grandchildren, I'm not, so it's
yeah.
just like, oh. I mean, baby
Well,
girl comes in.
we have animals, so we have that problem. The cat gets in the tree, the dogs get
Oh,
in
yeah, my
yeah.
dog doesn't even care, but my like, baby girl came in yesterday, Ellie, after her performance at school, and the first thing she saw,
So
she's
excited.
18 months old, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I forgot you haven't seen my decorations yet."
Yeah,
It's
it's good
so
to see
cute.
that through their eyes again. That's what the joy of Christmas comes back, and that's what I'm excited about with my grandson is it's not yet, he's just 2 months old,
Yeah.
but it'll come, like, next year, like, "Oh, what are we gonna" like, I literally, can't wait for him to because I think I like doing the Christmas thing. I think it like I said, I go full bore, but
You make
now
it more
children are yeah.
simple, though, with the food.
I do, but I still like the Christmas I like the spirit of Christmas, so I'll
Mhm.
be excited to get back into it, but as your bestie, you can always call, we can always vent, we can always tell each other how, upset or how overwhelmed we are, but, it's not a if you're doing that, if you're feeling this and you're listening to this and you realize that's what you do too, that you're superwoman at Christmas time and you're exhausted by it, is that, other women have this issue as well. Somehow, some way we've got roped into being everything to everybody all the time. And, somehow we have to kind of get through that. But it's always good to call your friend and vent and complain. And it's always a good person to have in your corner because, it's hard to call your family and complain about your family. Like, I can't really do that. That's awkward. Like,
Well,
call somebody.
and who do I call? You guys.
Exactly.
But I'm still gonna do it. That's what's so funny. It's like, I'm still gonna do it no matter what. Like,
I
I can
know.
sit there and complain, but I'm gonna do it.
But you're gonna do it. I mean, I'm gonna do it too. I mean, but somehow, some way, we need to figure out a man's role in this a little more so that he can do it. So, anyways, you can put that cape
Seriously.
down. Santa isn't real, and either is Superwoman. So you don't have to be Superwoman. You can try to enjoy them a little bit. All right, Jack. Let's go into Bestie Rapid Questions. You ready?
Okay.
What holiday expectation did you inherit from your mother?
That's funny. Not trying to
That
be rude. Expectation.
did you inherit from your mother?
I don't s my mom I don't have nothing.
Nothing. I'm trying to think of something too. I was thinking that maybe the
I think my family, like, even if we didn't have people there, we were together, we had to be
Sure.
together.
Sure. Yeah.
So I guess does that make sense?
I guess my mom's holiday expectation, I didn't inherit it from my mother. I inherited it from my grandmother about this, family oriented holiday where you get together and everybody eats and it's just like a merry time. So I think the expectation that I have really comes from my grandmother more than my mother because my grandmother did it and until my grandmother couldn't, then I did it. So there's really a past between my mom kind of didn't get involved in that too much. So okay, go
See,
ahead,
I
Jack.
don't feel like I had to, like, finish I don't feel like I had to do that. You
You
know what I
don't.
mean? You had sounds like you had more of a, where you had it
Generational.
pass on yeah, like because
Yeah.
I know we did it with my grandma sometimes, but then we didn't do it all the time. But
Right.
I always enjoyed when we went over there, I got excited,
Right.
but that's the only place I ever remember going besides just staying home
Right.
for the holiday
Right.
at home, and that was it.
Okay, you're up
Wow.
next.
Okay, what's one thing you're willing to stop doing this year? Well, Jackie can't ever stop doing anything.
I've kinda taken a scale back on trying to figure out a million gifts to buy my kids. Like, I'm now just hoping that I can come up with 2 or 3 that are meaningful and then kind of fill in for a few more. I was an overbuyer by large amounts, so I'm releasing myself from having to do that anymore. A few gifts is good enough and did more meaningful gifts, I suppose. When I was they
You know
were
what I did stop doing this year, now that you said that? I always did this thing for the kids where, like, I always did that Saran Wrap thing. Saran Wrap game? Like, I did all
Yeah,
these extra games for the kids where they
sure.
won more stuff, like, they got
Right,
gift cards and made it, even, like, bigger from even their
right.
Christmas gifts, and so I guess it's gift
Yeah,
giving also, as you're saying,
right,
and this was the year that I even told my sister-in-law, "I'm not doing all that this year. We're only doing, like, the cookie decorating for the little kids. We're gonna do our white elephant gift because I already bring something for that." But, like, literally, I would make these balls that were huge that the kids would do, and me and my sister-in-law would kinda split and just have tons of gift cards in them.
right.
And the first year we did it, I was so frustrated because and another adult got into it, and I'm like, "No, this is for the kids. We can
Right,
all afford whatever. This is
right,
extra for the
right,
kids."
right.
Oh, my mother-in-law would get her husband in it or not her boyfriend in to do it. I'm like and he wouldn't have the gift cards. I'm like, "No, you don't need them."
I know, right? You're
So it's
like,
like the next
"Settle
year I had to
down
be
there."
mean, and then I get in trouble, like, the next year because 'cause I'm like, "You can't be in it." Because it's
You
like the year when it was happening, I can't say, "Oh, you can't win that. That's for the
right,
kids."
right. This
So
year,
the
you're like,
next year
"Listen, you're out, buddy. Don't
I
even
know,
try
so
to
I
get
look like
involved."
the total, like,
Did I just say
Christmas
that?
Eve
The
Grinch.
crazy moment that you have
Yeah,
after everything you've done, and then you
yeah.
get one crazy moment, and they're like, "Oh my god, what's wrong with you?" And you're like, "I've put together everything on the planet for everything that's ever happened today, and all of a sudden, I can't have a moment where I'm upset about something and not upset the rest of you?" Like, that's the point that I get mad about. I'm like, "Sit down with people. Like, you do it. You
You
do it.
all sit down because 'cause I'm about to give you a speech. Could you see if
Listen
we
up.
did that? All
Listen
of a
up.
sudden, none of the kids would come for Christmas.
Roll out a list. Here are the infractions that happened this year, and I would like to go over every one of them. First of
Then
all,
they all of our children would tell us, "Okay, now you're your mother."
I different from my mouth. Acknowledge you. All right. Anyways, so here's the last one. What tradition would you keep if you were truly just up to you? What would be the one thing you would keep if it was just up to you? That you would get rid of all the other stuff, but just keep that. I think playing games and having fun on New Year's, Christmas Eve, I'm sorry, is probably my favorite part. What is yours?
Uh, I would say just being together.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, but playing game, doing
Yeah.
something, that part of it is the most enjoyable. Giving is nice, but that's the part I enjoy most is
Well,
just
like, I was talking to you, we're talking about maybe changing our Christmas Eve to the Saturday before Christmas, just so we can have all of our kids because everybody's moving other directions with other
yeah,
and they have the other families, etcetera. And I think it's just getting them together. That's why it's like we're willing to change to a different
sure.
day and just
Right.
pretend it's Christmas Eve. And the
Right.
kids will understand. The little ones will understand. Just like our kids with it all been through divorce, they understood that.
Yeah.
Because I love also I made this new tradition that we have Santa that comes on Christmas Eve.
Right.
And he just comes in and talks to the kids, and they just think it's the best, and my grandbabies talk about it all year long. "Grandma, you know Santa. Grandma."
Well, when they get to kindergarten, it's all gonna go to hell because in kindergarten is when the kid that's parents told them right away that the Santa's not real is gonna tell everybody, and then they're like, "It's fake, it's your parents did it."
Hey,
Santa
well,
is free.
Jackson so far,
Is
he's
he
in
in kindergarten?
kindergarten, yep, and nothing's happened, so
Well, he might be hiding
he's
it.
still yeah.
I've been to homes. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been to homes and the kids are like 12 or 13 and they're still pretending Santa's real. I'm like, "Oh my god, are you kidding me with this?" Like, dear Lord.
Well, you know why? Because they know they're gonna get
Think
better
of the
gifts.
gifts. I know. You and the parents like just I think they still believe. I'm like, "You are so far out of your brain. Dear Lord, wake up." Oh, anyways,
Right, here we go.
if this episode hit you in the feels or made you laugh way too hard, we consider that a win.
Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your ride or die.
And when you're ready to make your friendship official, book your bestimony at rhinestoneweddingchapel.com.
Because the best love stories don't always come with a ring.
We stick together, ride or die to the moon, and no amount of space could ever come between us two. And reuniting's like we never been apart, and every single time we're eye to eye and heart to heart. There's not enough words to describe what you mean to me. Through heartaches and ups and downs in this life, you've stayed right next to me. I vow to make you laugh till you cry and talk about everything under the moon. The definition of a best friend is you. Is you. And we'll keep dancing through the rain, forever connected. Same page, we're writing our story every day. We'll keep on growing, ever changing.